Good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Dr. Faizan, and my title of presentation is Role of Knowledge Management and Coastal Tourism towards Sustainable Development Goals in Sabah, Malaysia. Okay, first of all, just an overview of the global tourism industry. This is all, of course, before the COVID era. The international tourist arrivals reached around 1.4 billion in 2018, and international tourism generated exports worth 1.7 trillion, which generated around 10.4% of the global economic activity, which is a GDP, and generating about 319 million jobs worldwide. Secondly, the global tourism industry is expected to increase at an annualized rate of 0.2% to 1.5 trillion over the next 5 years, which is from 2015 to 2020. Of course, we don't include the COVID period. And then travel and tourism GDP growth, which is around 4.6%, which outpaced the global economy at 3% for the 7th year in a row. This means that travel and tourism is growth is 50%, almost 50% higher than that of the global economy. Moving further, now coming towards the Malaysian tourism sector. Malaysian tourism sector is one of the major tourism sector is one of the major contributors towards Malaysia's GDP, contributing around 84.1 billion ringgit Malaysia in monetary value. And Malaysian tourism industry was the 6th largest contributor to the national account in 2014. Moving forward, Malaysia is all set to promote tourism with the new campaign title, which is Visit Malaysia 2020, and which is expected forecasted to generate a revenue of around US dollars 21.5 billion during just the first quarter. And there is a lot of aggressive marketing campaigns which is happening to each year, which is increasing the revenues each year and so forth. Now, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which have been identified adopted in the General Assembly agenda for the Sustainable Development Goals, which include 17 goals, which are: number 1 is no poverty, second is zero hunger, goal number 3 is good health and well-being, goal number 4 is towards providing quality education, goal number 5 is gender equality, goal number 6 is clean water and sanitization, goal number 7 is affordable clean energy, goal number 8 is decent work and economic growth, goal number 9 focuses on industry, innovation and infrastructure, goal number 10 focuses on reduced inequality, goal number 11 is sustainable cities and communities, goal number 12 is responsible consumption and production, goal number 13, which is very important as well, which is the climate action, goal number 14, which is our target for this presentation, is life below water. And goal number 15 is life on land. Number 16 for highlights towards peace and justice, strong institutions. And last is goal number 17, which is partnerships to achieve the goal. But our focus for this presentation, for this paper, is goal number 14, which is life below water. Now, some of the goals, some of the highlights for goal number 14, which is highlighted in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for 2030, these are just some of them. To prevent and significantly reduce amount of marine pollution in the form of activities which is marine debris, nutrient pollution, etc. Also to increase the economic benefits to small island nation developing states and developing countries for sustainable use of marine resources, including thorough sustainable management of fisheries, aquaculture and tourism. For this presentation, this paper, tourism is going to be our main aim. And by 2020, United Nations also focuses to conserve at least 10% of coastal and marine areas, consistent with national and international laws and based on the best available scientific information. Also, last but not least, provide access for small-scale artisanal fisheries to marine resources and markets. Moving forward, now the concept is that we are trying to link knowledge management with ecotourism and also sustainable development goals, mainly goal number 14. Now the question arises is that what exactly is knowledge management? Knowledge management is the process of capturing, distributing, and making an effective use of knowledge for some purposeful outcome. And as we know that knowledge management is restricted
I think
towards
if Dr.
technological
Faizan
companies such
is
as Microsoft, Sony, Dell,
still having technical
and so on
difficulties,
and
maybe I
so
can go
forth.
first.
However, Japan remains #1 pioneer and practitioner of knowledge management till date. However, this concept of knowledge management is now being adopted by other areas such as biotechnology, manufacturing, and now it's coming towards tourism. But the research in knowledge management in tourism is very limited. And okay, now what exactly is knowledge application of knowledge management in ecotourism is basically dissemination of environmental education through knowledge management principles, which can be IT-based principles, non-IT-based principles. There is a long list of principles which might not be sufficient time to highlight, and also transfer of gain knowledge through research in ecotourism with the community, because there has been some researches in ecotourism, especially in Sabah Tourism Board and in government of Malaysia, which is not being distributed to the community, such as the private entrepreneurship, private enterprises. So if the research which is done in ecotourism is shared with the community, with the stakeholders, then definitely the stakeholders will be able to formalize strategies and of marketing, promotion, consumer behaviors, etc. Moving forward, the research methodology, what I have adopted for this paper, for this presentation, is content analysis methodology, because the primary data for this research is very difficult, and thus knowledge management, data on knowledge management in ecotourism has been gathered through collection of journals, online libraries, and other resources. Secondly, analysis of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, goal number 14, thorough analysis has been done. Evaluation of secondary data from journals which highlight the importance of knowledge management and relevance in ecotourism has been collected. So far, what you have came to a conclusion that the role of knowledge management in developing coastal marine tourism. Knowledge management can bring about exchange of relevant knowledge that would help in achieve the goal of sustainable development. Importance of educational institutes such as UMS, which has its own eco campus, and there is a lot of research being done on ecotourism, and a lot of initiative has been taken by University Malaysia Sabah in order to achieve sustainable development goals, mainly specifically targeted now towards marine ecotourism, because as we know that Sabah Malaysia has a lot of potential has a lot of marine environment, marine resources, but the full sustainable exploitation is still lagging. That's why this paper highlights towards this kind of goals to achieve sustainable marine tourism. Now the recommendations for this will be traditional ecotourism practices. Practice in Sabah can be combined easily with the help of knowledge management principles, such as knowledge sharing sessions among the traditional community and the modern tourism community can be held maybe once in a month, maybe once in 2 months, which highlights the need for the promotion of coastal and marine tourism. And local communities of Sabah can be trained in such tools, which includes IT-based tools, non-IT-based tools, by training the local community which lives near the coastal areas, will not only enhance the capacity, but also bring about best practices involved in ecotourism, both traditional and modern. Local community involvement in tourism will benefit if they are trained in IT-based systems, will again enhance the knowledge and development and the expertise. More advanced expert systems, artificial intelligence systems, which automatically updates the stakeholders involved in tourism business on dangers or involved with the marine environment, and web-based applications as well as mobile-based applications which can be installed and on the tourist mobile phones, or perhaps the community mobile phones, which keep updating for any disasters which might be happening in the future or which might be happening currently, such as tsunamis or maybe some pandemics, so that the tourists are well aware about what precautions they can be taken. So these are some of the recommendations. And thank you very much for the time. That's all for now.